and with snow on the bike. Can you believe it? It's now -1 degree.
The journey was going to start and finish in Long Beach, California, mainly because the company we were hiring our bikes from, Motoquest, were based there. Our route would take us north for a one-night stopover in Barstow before we took in some Route 66 in Amboy and then spent 4 nights in Las Vegas before then heading off for a one-night stop in Kingman, a 2-night stop in Sedona, and then head south back to the coast with one-night stays in Wickenburg, Blythe and Desert Hot Springs. Finally, we had a 2-night stopover in Carlsbad on the coast before heading back up the coast to Long Beach.
Motoquest, Long Beach.
Although we hired the bikes from Motoquest, we would recommend that you take your own helmets, and the safest way we found of transporting them was to put them in the carry-on luggage along with things like chargers, batteries and GoPros, just to keep them safe.
California.
One of the reasons we chose Motoquest to hire our bikes is because they offered BMWs, and I'm a big fan of BMWs. I ride a 1200 GSA at home. Sue's had a 700, so we thought we're on safe ground sticking with a bike that we knew. Having picked the bikes up, we headed back to our hotel in Long Beach to prep them for the next day, putting GoPros on and most importantly getting them packed correctly.
So the biggest challenge that I thought I would face on a 3-week trip to the US on a motorbike with 2 panniers was how to pack to accommodate unanticipated weather and evening wear and look vaguely human when you get off a bike. But I did actually see a clip on YouTube of a lady packing to go on a trip on a motorbike, and what she flagged up was one of the most useful things to do. So your click and seal bags. So I bought some from Tesco. These are a pack of extra large and a pack of medium. Put everything in a bag. There's 3 pairs of jeans here. Put them in a bag. Squish the air out, which is often what takes the space. Seal them up. And then right on the front, what's in each of the bags, just pull out whatever you need at any given time.
And that's how you pack a pannier bag to go inside a pannier, and you just repeat that for 4 of them, and there you are. Easy.
Voila.
The next day, with great anticipation, we set off on our first leg to Barstow.
So now I'm sampling 2 IPAs, and Sue's going for a usual spritzer. Here, we've got all the back routes to Vegas. Instead of doing the normal interstate, we're going to do a bit of Route 66, head for the very famous Amboy, which has got Roy's Diner, which apparently is an institution on Route 66, and then we're going to head through the National Mojave Preserve, supreme before heading to Vegas. So.
This idyllic ride along Route 66 eventually brought us upon the tiny community of Amboy. Famous Roy's Cafe on Route 66.
How long's the cafe been here?
I think back in the 60s.
Really?
How many people live here now?
8, that's 7 too many.
Finally struck it rich. I just found gold. Oh, sorry.
We arrived in Las Vegas in the afternoon and found it surprisingly easy to find our way to our hotel, Paris, Las Vegas. I'd met the crazy girls in the blistering 100-degree heat on my Pan American trip in 2010, and now I was about to be reacquainted with them in 2019.
Of course, while we're in Las Vegas, we couldn't miss the opportunity of visiting the Grand Canyon. It had always been on my bucket list to visit this amazing natural wonder, and to take a helicopter flight and land in the canyon was something neither of us will ever forget.
Well folks, one for the bucket list, the Grand Canyon. Pretty special place. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our last dinner with one of the best views in Las Vegas.
As you'd expect, Las Vegas was very expensive, so in an attempt to recoup our losses, Sue hit the slots.
Here she is. How much
So how much have you got to spend?
spend?
And how much do you need?
This is instant credit card.
Sadly no big win for Sue on our last night in Vegas, but the next day we were due to ride for 2 hours to our next stop in Kingman, but overnight a massive storm had come through, and when we got up we found out the weather was fairly atrocious. After about an hour and a half battling the freezing wind and rain, we thankfully happened upon a roadside diner.
And boy, I've never felt so glad to get in the warm and nurse a hot cup of coffee.
Coffee and eggs. How are you feeling now, huh?
Better. A bit thawed air.
I'm soaked to the skin.
Yeah, me too.
Arrived in Kingman, staying at the Best Western, and it is teeming it down outside. The worst weather I've ridden in for probably 10 years. And trying to dry out my gloves.
It's been very, very cold.
Tomorrow we are heading to Seligman to sample the old Route 66, and then on to Sedona. It's forecast snow.
The next morning, thankfully the weather was dry, if a little chilly, and we were heading to Sedona via the historic town of Seligman. I was eager to show Sue where I'd stayed on my Pan American trip in 2010. Seligman was a thriving town on Route 66 until 1978, when they built the Interstate 40, which bypassed the town, and it became a ghost town overnight. In 1987, it was reborn as the birthplace of Route 66.
Once again, it's when I pass your door, the memories come back again. Pictures of us flooding back just like a wave. Makes me wonder what happened, what you're up to today. Remember when we...
Back in Seligman on Route 66, 9 years later. Came here to show Sue the famous old town of Seligman.
I'm in a little town called Seligman, which is on the historic Route 66, and everything around about this town is all geared around Route 66 memorabilia, and every motel is about Route 66. I'm staying in the deluxe Route 66 motel down there.
Way back when we didn't care what they said. People could stare, I didn't give a damn, cause all I needed was my friend.
So this is
Way back when.
You've told me so much about it. Do I think we should buy one of the Route 66 things?
Remember when my father taught us how to play guitar?
Flagstaff, Arizona, for a quick coffee before we get to Sedona. Look at this. Snow. Ice.
We thought our dream would take us so far, but after a week or so it all just fell apart. But we were higher than the ceiling, middle fingers to the sky. I remember thinking if I only could stop the time right now. Way back when we didn't care what they said. People could stare, I didn't give a damn, cause I was being next to you. Way back when we didn't care what they said. People could stare, I didn't give a damn, cause all I needed was my friend way back.
And if it's Sedona, it must mean crystals and vortex stuff.
He's bragging, trying to conjure up spirit.
Way back when was my friend. Way back when
impressive, eh? Worth the bitter cold getting here. But we're hoping to get out on the road early tomorrow before the 8 inches of snow, which is predicted to fall, is going to hit us. This is Sedona, Red Rock country, beautiful place. Would have been nice to have it a little bit warmer. And with snow on the bike, can you believe it? It's now -1 degree.
So we're headed south for hopefully the warmer weather of Wickenburg. The historic town of Wickenburg was founded in 1863 by a German prospector, Henry Wickenburg, and it's also now known as the dude ranch capital of the world.
After a 3-hour ride from Sedona, we finally arrived in the little town of Wickenburg. Famous for its fresh air, apparently. Wait for an hour to check into our hotel, Best Western, across the road there. But apparently there's a gun show on, so let's check it out.
Tooth and nail, it's a rocky road, this pilgrim trail. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail, sometimes heaven, sometimes hell. Pilgrim trail, pilgrim trail, let's meet up down the pilgrim trail.
Morning folks, it's 10:30 in the morning. Just checking out of our hotel in Wickenburg, heading to Blythe in California today. So just a short hop, a couple of hours. And
this is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within.
we've done about an hour on the US 60 from Wickenburg heading to Blythe, and it's President's Day, so we're trying to find a place to stop, and a lot of places are closed, but we just happened upon this cafe on the road,
but they've all gone out the window.
And I noticed a sign saying bikers welcome, 2 eggs over easy and bacon with coffee.
On my face, is alright.
Gonna go for BLT and a large hot coffee.
2 eggs, over easy, and bacon.
Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to
Hampton Inn and Suites by Hilton.
The hotel was modern and comfortable. It was in the middle of nowhere and it actually took us a while to find it. There was no bars and restaurants nearby or within walking distance, but they did lay on free hot dogs, wine and beer for the residents each night.
After our very exciting night in Blythe, we head off the next day for a 2-hour ride to the exotically named Desert Hot Springs.
today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow.
A break on the way to Desert Hot Springs at the Desert Centre. I think it's a bit shut. Desert Centre Cafe. Yeah, it's been a while since that's been used.
It's a good day today. It's a good day today.
A few miles down the road, we came upon the General Patton Museum.
Here we were at the George Patton Memorial Museum. At a place called Chiriaku Summit, where apparently they had a World War II desert training centre.
I get the vibe that you're distant.
Desert Hot Springs became a tourist destination in the 1950s because of its small spa hotels and natural springs. It was also the first city in Southern California to legalize medical marijuana cultivation.
Tell me again what I'm missing. 'Cause you're fading out. We've been here before. Tell me again, just tell me again, and I'll make it right. Don't go through that door. Tell me again, just tell me.
So we've just arrived in Desert Hot Springs at our resort, which is called the Miracle Springs Resort and Spa. This is about the warmest it's been on the whole trip. It's so warm, I'm believing it, I'm actually wearing shorts. Yeah, Miracle Springs Resort. Let's take a look at it, shall we?
But I see it in your eyes. Something isn't right. Tell me again what I'm missing. 'Cause you're fading out. We've been here before. Tell me again, just tell me again.
It's had chilli up. Oh, the water's like bath water. Beautiful. Cool bath water.
Make it right.
It was time to head back to the coast and our penultimate stop, the coastal city of Carlsbad.
You're fading out. We've been here before. Tell
Carlsbad is known as the village by the sea and was named after a famous spa in Carlsbad, Bohemia in 1882.
We finally made it to Carlsbad through a bit of rain. Weather wasn't great, incredibly windy coming out of desert hot springs, but we're here. Best Western with an ocean view. We've been given some recommendation by somebody in Carlsbad, a place that sells craft beer, and ended up in this place called Barrel Republic. So I think we figured out where we're going to come to drink tonight.
It's brilliant. It's real fun.
And so the final leg of our journey took us back to Long Beach to drop off the bikes.
Ruby's Diner on Pacific Coast Highway 1. Time for a breakfast stop on our way to Long Beach to drop the bikes off.
Here we are, Laguna Beach at Ruby's Diner.
Straight cruising, headed for a bruising, watching out for number one. You gotta slow down and look around you, son. Today is just today and not tomorrow. Where you're going, you can rest your head. Where you're going, brightness looks big. Where you're
Just arrived back at Motoquest, dropping the bikes off after our epic adventure. 1,200 miles we've done.
easy now, you gotta get going. Easy now.
The weather's beautiful now.
Hard
Perfect biking weather.
working, so you can be deserving.
Let's get the bikes back.
So we're at Parker's Lighthouse for our last night ashore meal, down by the marina in Long Beach.
Slow
Queen Mary over there.
down and look around you, son. Give a lot and live a little. Work with what you got. Where you're going,
had the most amazing trip, and when we got back we even got featured in Motorcycle News.
Brightness looks big where you're going. True